Yeah, let's go the Los Angeles Rams +1 at the Arizona Cardinals. You don't like?
I don't know. I'm actually excited to hear what you have to
Me too,
say.
because this feels square based off of no like actual data, just like a Rams team that looked really good in Detroit playing a Cardinals team at underdog. So yeah, I'm curious as well.
So the story here is Arizona's now a favorite. They opened as a 2.5 point dog, or at least the look ahead the week before. So why did this move? We have to be able to explain why a line moved like this, and it's because of the injuries on the Rams offensive line. They had 4 of their 6 offensive linemen were injured by halftime against Detroit. And so to me, I say, well, if that happened in that game, the Rams still had a second half comeback to tie the game and force overtime, in which they lost the coin toss and never got the ball. So I think there's a little bit of a faulty Lions cover on that aspect. And I think, sorry, Uppy, there's a bit of a faulty Cardinals cover as well. They get a 96-yard kick return down 11 in the middle of the fourth quarter. So those two adjustments to me don't get me through 2 to 1 to 1.5 to 1 to 0 all the way out the other side. They also, Puka Nakua is out as well. That's going to be a headliner. Well, he only played 25 snaps in that game. And you give McVay a full week of being able to put the pieces back together on this offensive line. And I feel a little bit better about it. They did do it on the fly during the second half of that Detroit game. Yes, Matt Stafford was pressured a ton, but again, they still led a comeback to force overtime. Kyler Murray, he's also not great against the Rams. He's 1-8 straight up and 1-7-1 against the spread, dating back to 2021 against the Rams. And an interesting phenomenon here, teams to open up as dogs and then close as favorites since 2018, 76 and 106 against the spread. That, of course, from Evan Abrams. So I just think this is way too much of an adjustment for me. I know there's cluster injuries. Everybody knows that, but this line over adjusted to that.
Here's why I'm with you, and I'm not vetoing why I can see it win, but why I'm not in love with it. I want you to get 3 points here. I want you to get a spread that is meaningful. You're essentially saying the Rams are going to win the game straight up.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, it's too early to know what this Cardinals team is. So I think we're flipping a coin. Now, you could argue, well, at least we're getting 1.5 here. McVay owns the Cardinals. But remember, McVay owns Kingsbury, right?
Correct.
McVay owns bad coaches. I like Gannon, but McVay is better than Gannon, right? He's one of the best in the league. So I get why the lean is there. O-line is a lot. It's a lot. And kind of what Casey said, there's so many uncertainties here. It just would have been a stay away here. I do think the attraction to overreaction, which is the stat you referenced, is a simple play. And I think we'll land on some more teams that we're not going to overreact to like the market has.
So tell me this, though. Arizona has to be able to make this depleted offensive line pay. Well, how about last week? The Cardinals were 31st in pressure, according to PFF. Matchups styles make fights, and I don't think
Yes.
that you have to pick another team to exploit what Los Angeles has going on in the offensive line.
I'm aligned with you there.
Yeah, I think I watched the 1 o'clocks. I'm going to fraud myself a bit. Coming off a 10-hour flight from Brazil, I fell asleep during the Rams-Lions game. So my question is, did the Rams get any interior pressure on Goff? Because the way I see that stat, the 1-8 Kyler, is Aaron Donald disrupting through the middle, I think on shorter quarterbacks, I think causes a lot of issues. And I saw it with the Bills game is when they got interior pressure through the center, through the guards, Kyler struggled a lot more than I guess when they're coming off the edge. So a question, I guess, do we see the Rams causing similar fits through their interior linemen?
So the Rams did not get much pressure, but the Lions also have one of the best offensive lines in football. So
Probably the best, yeah.
yeah,
And the Cardinals did just put a guy on IR from the O-line this week.
Yeah, their right tackle is going to be out for this game. To me, I know you're talking about a number, Jack, that you want. Then why didn't you veto Casey laying 3.5? Like, that is, if we're gonna play the bad number game,
No. It's not that it's a bad number. I just think it's a true coin flip game, and that's the difference. I think the Jets are going to win that game, right? But they could win and cover. There's not really a world where the Cardinals win, but they don't cover the spread. That's all I was saying. You're essentially 1.5 points is meaningless here. You're betting on them to win the game, which is fine. I just don't know if I would make that bet.
I would argue in a coin flip game, you do want the better coach, significantly better
For sure.
quarterback.
For sure.
So I would definitely lean that way. This one just felt weird to me, especially when it flipped, but Tim thoroughly explained that. I just initially looked at the Cardinals and I'm thinking, at home, this is basically a pick. So they're saying these teams are fairly similar on neutral. And I'm higher on the Cardinals. So it's certainly,
I guess
maybe
I'm
a little
sad.
weird.
I'm sad the Cardinals didn't win because I think we could have gotten a 3 here. If they beat Buffalo on the road, if Kyler hits Marvin Harrison Jr., I actually think they could be laying at least 2.5. But I think because of that, they're 1.5.
I think no shot they were going to give us 3.
Sure.
I think no shot that Sean McVay and Matt Stafford were going to get 3 against a Cardinals team that, again, this is a public darling team. People like betting on Kyler Murray. They like Maserati Marv. They are a team that when
but they don't after week 1. Tim, think about it. People only watch Red Zone. They were leading early, but then second half they get smacked. If Kyler hits MHJ, the rookie, for a touchdown, Kyler doesn't make the comment in the media today. He scored a touchdown. He had 60 yards. They won. Come back on the road. You don't think? I agree 3 would be tough, but they're at least sitting 2.5.
I think people are saying, he just missed him or didn't see him. I think, now there's going to be a game plan to make sure Maserati Marv does touch the ball, right? It goes yin and yang. I just do think that the Cardinals were a popular, like, pesky, trendy kind of dog pick in the preseason.